Welcome to the Comic Binge. I am your host, Paul Herman. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers we've gotten, all the likes, all the views. Really appreciate you all. I'm very, very thankful. The Comic Binge is a growing beast, if you will. But I'm excited about today's show because we're going to be talking about, obviously, movie stuff, but we're going to bring it back to comics because this is the Comic Binge. This isn't the pop culture binge. Who wants that? Who wants a pop culture binge? I don't want that. So I got a lot of people to talk about this movie today. Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania. You can hear me talk about it on the MCU Fan Show with my good buddy Sean Gerber. We're going to do another big, long episode this week. So I'm just going to facilitate a great conversation with a lot of different diverse opinions. And one person probably won't stop talking in Zach, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, I'm really excited to talk about this with everybody. I'm gonna start bringing them on. I'm just gonna start doing it. Just gonna do it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring on, obviously, no offense to anyone else here, one of my best friends in the world, Mr. Dave Valdez. What's up?
How you doing, man?
We're doing good.
Paul has never played sports.
That is a lie. That is a lie. All right, you said your piece. All right, you said your thing. All right. Next on the list is the loudmouth himself. And I only say because it takes one to know one. Zach, how we doing, sir?
Buddy. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you. I'm glad to be here at Spidey Dude Radio, and we got Lang hanging out with me on the mic.
All right, you're done. All right, anyway. All right, next on the list we've got Mr. Chris Carey, who also on Marveling Star Wars with me, and Scott Rifen. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, great, man. Thanks for having me. I liked the movie, and maybe I'm the only one here that did. I don't know.
Why do you spoil everything so far? God damn, you killing me here. And we got Pizza Time himself, Adam.
The red sauce on my chest is a baptism. I'm born again.
Ooh, was that a Say Anything reference?
No, dude, it's from The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh God. All right, I effed up that one. All right. Anyway, and last but not least, Mr. Nye, because you know, and Mr. Adam Nye, I know that people call you Mr. Nye on a regular basis, so that's old hat, right?
Actually, they call me Dr. Nye. My students do.
Oh God, Dr. Nye, guys. Okay, from now on, it's Dr. Nye. That's it. If you have a doctorate in oh my God, theology.
Yes.
I mean, you deserve it, Dr. Nye. Thank you for joining us. So anyway,
happy to be here.
Excellent. All right. So everyone, thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, all that BS. I hate saying it, I hate begging for it, but I'm going to ask it. Go ahead, like. All you guys, go hit you like too. Come on, help me out here. God, you guys all suck. Come on. Anyway, all right, we're going to talk about what, Zach?
I shared stuff on Instagram. Don't at me.
All right, that's fair. All right. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Again, I've already talked about this movie a ton, like literally 3 hours the other day with Sean Gerber, and I have a blast. I love doing them. We always go deep, and we haven't even hit the surface with the obviously the post-credits scene, which we'll talk a little bit about. But anyway, I want to facilitate this conversation, let you guys. I'll probably chime in here and there, just kind of yell at you guys a little bit. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I'm going to go around and get general thoughts, Zach. General thoughts, but I'm going last with you. So just because you're last right there. And I got to go with my best friend too. Anyway, Dave Valdez, I haven't even asked you what you think about this movie. What do you think about Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah, we never talk anymore, man. I'm sad about it. But I won't call you out now. I'm just going to talk about Ant-Man.
Wow, dude. Wow. Wow.
No, sorry for not being on Twitter more. I enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like it wasn't too far off from the same level as the other movies. I enjoy being in the quantum realm, just the kind of seeing the fun things they come up with in terms of character designs and moving buildings holding each other as they're dying. Like that was fun to watch. And Majors is my guy now, man. God. Like, God, that guy's hitting hard, and I love it.
That is well said. We'll do a whole segment of just Majors, at some point. But yeah, he's incredible. All right, Dr. Nye, I'm gonna let you go next because you're the doctor and you have probably the most schooling of all of us, I'm assuming. So what do we got here?
I I went in with pretty low expectations.
You went with low expectations?
Yeah, the Ant-Man movies are fun for me, but they don't rank super high in my overall Marvel rankings. But I think that serves me well going in with low expectations. So I had fun. There's a bunch of things I can say for it. There's some things I can say against it. In the balance, I liked it more than I didn't. So yeah, I think I probably like it more than the other two. Though I really wish it had Luis in it.
Is Luis that important? That's my question. I mean, everyone.
I was thinking by the end of the movie, it would have been nice to see him.
It's just missing one of his recaps where he like talks real fast, and you see the sort of drunk history thing where everybody's talking like him.
It would have tied the room.
It was missing that.
Ooh, true.
And Zach is muted apparently.
Yes, I muted myself. I don't know where you would have put him in narratively.
No, that's true.
So I understand his omission. However, it would have been funny as a post-credit scene of him trying to recap it to like the guys, the whole story. And that would have been funny. But I can see why they didn't put him in there. I know people were disappointed when they found out he wasn't going to be in it. But to me, again, narratively, and I have a story about my whole experience, and I'm glad I'm going last because it's going to take a minute.
All right, you're going last. By the way, so just for the record, Zach, I just love giving you crap. You know this. But in all seriousness, I will say you could have easily put Luis in it because he could have been delivering food to them like at like the time when the quantum realm happens, like, hey, I got a pizza, whoa, and like get sucked in with them. Like, I can't believe I got sucked into this whole thing. It's not that hard. I mean, let's be real. So
yeah, but you already had enough.
Zach, it's not your turn yet. Come on, let's wait our turn.
That's why I'm going back to Going back to comics.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. All right. Pizza time. What we got? What you think of this movie?
I mean, it's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's an MCU movie. It's enjoyable. Yeah, Kang was cool.
God, Adam. You're epitome of the Chris Farley Paul McCartney interview. Oh man. All right. But to be fair, I haven't given you a lot. Mr. Carey, you're excited to talk about this movie. I'm curious what just tell us what you think. What do you think?
Yeah, dude. I was really pumped going into it. I think that it was a lot of fun. I mean, my wife and I saw it at 9:30 in the morning. And did not hamper the enjoyment at all. We had a great time. We laughed a lot, but I've never heard my wife laugh so loud in a movie theater as when MODOK's face is revealed. She just died laughing. But no, it was good. I loved Kang. Oh my! Like every scene Jonathan Majors in, you just like you're riveted. You like cannot stop watching this guy perform. And it's maybe one of my the more I've thought about it, maybe one of my quibbles actually is kind of the fate of the character, and then just the idea of the Council of Kangs in general kind of makes me a little. I don't know.
We're gonna say Council of Kangs will be its own thing.
I kind of agree a little bit, maybe.
Well, it's not
you wanted a little taste, a little hint of.
No, fair. That's fair. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm just gonna say it right now because I'm not gonna dive too much deep into this. You guys can tell me if I'm full of SH or not. But I don't think that King is dead. And I've said that before. I think, Dr. Nye, I think you again, I don't listen to my show, so I don't know. I think I said that on the show too, on the MCU fan show. I was like, yeah, King ain't dead. That King's coming back.
I hope not, because that was kind of.
He's dead.
He's especially like, and because he's the exile, like he seems like he's supposed to be the main Kang.
Word.
So he's just taken out.
Yeah, as a guy whose favorite character, one of his first arcs was called The Exile Returns. I just think it's, he's not dead.
All right, Padre, King dead? That King dead?
I don't know, man. I mean, you can easily write it that he comes back. I hope he does.
Okay.
I mean, because if you can kill a Kang every time you see one, then what does that?
What's the point?
Exactly. What's the point? Yeah. No stakes.
All right, Dr. Nye.
I don't make a lot of predictions.
No. Dr. Nye, you gotta start.
That's fair.
You study theology, man. You gotta be able to predict this stuff, just like the forefathers, man. Come on.
I mean, to me, yeah, it does seem like a stretch. Like they'd be able to make me care about a different Kang, having spent a whole movie setting this one up. But I don't know. They've done bigger stretches than that.
That's true. All right. So are you dead or not? Tell me, yes or no.
Well, everybody else has said no. I'll go yes. Just why not?
Dr. Nye, you're killing me today. All right. Last but not least, Zach, general thoughts under 1 minute. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so my general thoughts were I enjoyed the movie. However, I did not get to the movie theater and into my seat until after they got into the quantum realm, so I have no idea what the happened beforehand. So, like, everything from the beginning of the movie to the quantum realm, I have no clue.
You didn't miss too much, really.
I just knew that they got to the quantum realm. I know there was stuff with Cassie that I missed. I
missed that, I guess.
Yeah, crucial.
But other than that, I don't know how much I missed. So
okay,
the cold open, right when she meets Kang at the first time.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay, so let's just kind of. Do we want to start with like the lesser stuff first to get that out of the way, like the quibbles?
Probably, yeah.
All right, okay. Because I'm going to say this right now. If you haven't listened to my review on the MCU Fan Show, which you should go download right now and go rate it 4 stars for me and Sean, because we work really hard. Well, he works really hard. What's that?
Only 4 stars. Why not 5?
We're 5, 4, whatever it is. I don't care. Whatever. But go on there. If you listen to that show, it's 3 hours. So I understand if you don't want to listen to a 3-hour show, but we dissect it.
And 3-hour shows all the time, Paul. What are you talking about,
sir?
I bet.
Anyway, so I basically, I liked the movie, didn't love the movie. I think it's a flawed movie, but it's not a bad movie. I don't think it's bad. That's my general thoughts. Now let's get into some of those flaws because I think there's more good than bad. Okay. So I'm going to go for kind of all over the place here. Pizza time. I want you to tell me what was some of your least favorite moments of this, or what did not you like about this movie, if it makes any sense?
I think, well, this is more of an MCU thing in general. It's some of the humor. I get the humor thing, but there are moments where I feel like it's not necessary, and when there's like serious stuff happening, and you cut the tension with a joke or whatever, and I don't know that doesn't. I'm not. Some of it's like fine in the moment. Some of it I'm just like, oh, I get why they did that, but it's still kind of like, did you have to do that? It's like, and that's like MODOK is an example of that. Like,
really?
Yeah, because I don't know, like I get it. Like what they do with MODOK is, I mean, he's I guess a force to be reckoned with, but when they play off the big head thing for laughs, and when the big head kind of looks, I mean, it's okay, but I feel like it could look better. And we see his butt. We see like hashtag.
I thought MODOK's butt.
Hashtag MODOK ass,
I just want you guys all to know, I never thought I needed to see MODOK's butt.
I mean,
I'm glad I did. I mean that for real.
Like it's like a sensible chuckle, I guess, when you see it, but it's like, did we need to see? Like, I mean, we get it. Like,
it was a cute little moment.
Sure, I know. I mean, no, I get
bottom.
I know. I know. I mean, I get it. Like, I understand. I understand the humor, but sometimes it's just, and I kind of enjoy it, and I kind of don't. It's just a mixed bag for me.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But I think, but I mean, other than that, like, I don't know. He was MODOK himself, I guess, was decent enough, but again, they play it off for laughs like half the time, and I mean the thing at the end, again, it's like funny, like, oh, I'm an Avenger now, like that's funny, but it's also kind of like, all right, like, I don't know.
Fair. That's fair. Zach left. went bye-bye. I'm not sure where the hell he went, but he went somewhere. So I'll just take him out until he gets out there. So Chris Carey, what was your kind of thoughts on like some of your negative aspects? You like the movie, but what are some of the negative things for you?
Some negative things for me. I'll just kind of rapid fire them. I hated that it took as long as it did for Kang to show up. You know, it was like over an hour into the movie, and you know he's coming, right? And the buildup is good, but I was like, God, I just want to see him. That's a very minor quibble. I've read some discourse about Janet Van Dyne not saying anything about the fact that she ran into Kang, and I mean, of course, the reason is that this movie hadn't been invented yet. But it did seem really weird that there were so many scenes where she was like, "Oh, it's so bad here," and but she just didn't tell. I feel like a lot of the plot could have been kind of, I don't know, it would have not had to happen. I guess if she had just said like, "Oh yeah, I met up with this warlord down here, and he's a real piece of shit."
But why would she? Here's my question. I'm curious what you guys all will say to this. But do you blame her for not? Before you answer that, Chris, I'm gonna throw it to other people here. Dr. Nye, do you blame Janet for not talking about Kang to everyone? I don't.
I mean, that's not my bigger issue with Janet. That part of it doesn't really bother me, no.
Okay. Padre, do you blame Janet for not asking or telling them about Kang?
I don't know what good it would have done anyone.
That's I think too.
But you could also say at the same time, why not? I mean, how could she think that he was going to get out of the quantum?
Hey, everyone,
Yeah.
While we're eating our Chinese food with chopsticks. By the way, there's a warlord down there I haven't told you about. That it's like, I mean, come on.
Somebody that never would have told Hank. I don't know.
Well, he can't hear. He has a hearing aid. So what's she going to tell him?
I thought that was to talk to the ants.
That's like, dude, bro, come on. No, listen, the fact is that I understand narratively why she didn't, but he's right. To me, if I had 30 years between seeing my spouse, I would want to know more, and I would have pried more. I can understand not telling Hope and not telling Scott, but not telling Hank, I think is a missed opportunity to see and show and not tell how close the characters truly were. And so in that regard, I feel like there's a missed opportunity.
It does make more sense that she didn't mention that she was banging Bill Murray.
Yeah, dude. Oh, and I kept forgetting that Bill Murray was in this thing. It was like every time I hear that Bill Murray's in it, it's a surprise every time. I'm like,
Yeah, one thing I was pleasantly surprised about was the fact that everything that we saw in the trailers actually happened in the movie, and they didn't pull inserting crap that isn't in the movie in the trailers. So that part had me pleasantly surprised. One thing I don't, because I had to go let my ex-wife in.
That's so awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
I had locked my front door. Leave me alone. Anyway, so
oh, Zach, I love you.
So the thing that I didn't feel worked overall is there's parts of the script that are bad. The script to me is not it felt like it was the third draft and it should have probably had two more passes. To me, that is probably the biggest issue with this entire movie, is that the script I felt was kind of weak. And some of the dialogue, especially, like there's the scene where, it's Cassie saying, "Don't be a dick" to MODOK. That is very juvenile and it's very childlike. And I don't know if they're trying to make this a little more kid friendly.
All right. Listen. All right. Hold on. I want to get some more people on because I think that's one of my main criticisms. Padre, anything for you specifically you think that like is kind of like we haven't touched on, or you want to elaborate maybe on the script? I'm curious what your thoughts on this is.
The script thing. Now that you're saying that, I can see that, and that's the sort of thing like on multiple viewings I'd probably pick up on more. Whereas, I mean, I've only seen it once, and that's just taking it in, trying to taking all the story, just whether I enjoy it or not. But yeah, I can absolutely see that. And with Is it not as bad as like in something like what was Love and Thunder, like where the the laughs are so rapid fire, or you know, like the supposed jokes are so rapid fire that like, it's not that bad. But like again, there's a lot of jokes in this one that just don't stick for me, and you know, plenty of it like I can handle is fine. But I mean, just dial it down a little bit, maybe it's fine. But it's Ant-Man; it's supposed to be a little light on the lighter side. I understand that.
No, and I listen, like the jokes, I'll be honest, the jokes were never my issue. I felt like this, the overall, everything was just kind of people's performances at the serious parts a lot of times were stiff. It just felt very like these were not great performances. I felt over across the board. And like for the most part, I mean, when Paul Rudd's doing his Paul Rudd thing, like he's great. But when he's trying to be serious with Cassie, didn't resonate with me as well as it did the first couple movies, or at least in the second one is not my favorite by any means. I think this is a much better film than the second one, but I definitely feel that the writing overall just was not great in this movie overall. Now, sometimes we all in positive, we and you, we both are aware that certain actors can elevate bad writing, like Ewan McGregor. I mean, you know, prequels. Like, listen, I love the prequels, but you know, Natalie Portman could never elevate her material. Ewan McGregor had no problem. Like,
well, I mean,
you know,
director has a lot to do with that as well. But yeah,
well, but I agree. But I think, but the weird thing is the movie's just inconsistent because I feel like certain people were like Paul Rudd was fine. It wasn't his best performance, but he was fine. But yeah, like I felt like there was this, I like Sean kind of, you know, on our podcast, he said he kind of puts the blame on everyone on that regard. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that. Dr. Nye, have we addressed anything of quibbles that you maybe have not already?
Yeah, no, I've got a list. I haven't heard several of them.
All right, if you got a list, well, let's sit at your feet, sir. Let's do it. All right, let's go.
Well, the things I didn't particularly care for, I already said missing Luis. I also was missing Judy Greer, and you know, her new husband. Greer. Yeah, his ex-wife.
She wasn't in there. She should have been there at the end. Where was she?
Yeah, I felt like those absences were felt. I hate that we still don't know who Sonny Birch was working for in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Why do you have to do this? Why do you focus on this? I don't even remember that movie.
I don't know.
I didn't even see it.
That we still don't know that. I need this movie to connect more. Why in most earlier instances of the quantum realm you float in it, but in this one you walk in it. There's a little bit of that in, like, you know, when Hank meets Janet in the last one, but I still don't get that. Why, yeah, that part of it bothers me. It also bothers me that Janet was fine sending Scott back to the quantum realm at the end of the second one, but in this third one, she's like, "No, I told you never go to the quantum realm. Stay away from the quantum realm." That inconsistency bothers me.
So
okay,
I have a theory on that.
I do know that that's an overcomable quibble. I know that. I've seen some of the theories, and they kind of work, but we shouldn't have to work that hard to
Man, you got a laundry list. You really do. All right, what else we got?
I have one more.
Oh, jeez.
and I totally just blanked on what it was.
Oh, killing me here.
My bad.
God, Zach, what do you have to do this? Yeah. Dr. Niles on his like tirade over here, ready to write a second thesis.
I still really like the movie, but those were just some of the things.
When it comes to you, just blurt it out. That's what I do.
Yes, Zach loves the blurt.
All right.
And for the record, I want to say it's also funny because I think Dell, who you were on the show with last time, you had mentioned that like, what was Sonny working for? I haven't remember who Sonny was. Is that Dobbins? Is that his name?
That was the guy that the arms dealer that was trying to get the quantum technology.
But isn't that Dobbins? Is that his name? What's
Walton Goggins.
Goggins, yeah. Sorry,
yes.
Dave Audrey right now is ready to like destroy me being hearing that. It's like, God, I hate you. You know, ready to get this guy's name wrong. I don't even remember any of these people. Like I've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp twice. That's it, which is saying a lot for me.
I had just rewatched it going into this, so I'm like, all right,
You're fresh.
Let's see how these things connect. And they don't.
Is it? Hold on, Dr. Nye. Is it as bad as you remember? Or I remember.
No, because when you have such a negative memory of a movie, then you watch it. Usually, it's like, oh, it's not quite as bad as I remember. It has all the faults I remember about it.
Okay,
but it's more enjoyable than I tend to remember.
Padre, did you like Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's not, Avengers Endgame, but
I made a statement on Twitter about the MCU in general and how they're pretty much C+ to A+ movies. Like, there's nothing that fails for me.
I like that. That's a really good. I think that's probably the best thing you maybe have ever said, Zach.
To me, the range. F you, first of all. Second of all, the range for the MCU, in my opinion, is about in that space. So to me, this is a B- territory. Same thing with Ant-Man and the Wasp for me. It's not as bad as, say, Dark World and Iron Man 2, but I do feel like that.
How dare you talk about Iron Man 2 that way? How dare
Iron Man
you?
2 is A- at lowest.
Okay,
thank you, Dr. Nye. Oh my God! Finally, someone besides me. Thank you.
Here's my quibble about Ant-Man 3 and Iron Man 2. In both cases, they had to try to build out and do more world building beyond the scope of their characters. And I felt like that this was supposed to be the coronation of okay, we finally get Kang. It also kind of proves to me that if you did not watch Loki and you did not pay attention in Loki, then you would have been probably very lost throughout a lot of this movie. That's another kind of bit of my quibble. And I think that they're trying to.
Sorry.
My biggest issue with this film is that it was trying to be bigger in scope, and I don't know if the script and the directing were able to accomplish that feat. I felt like that Hope didn't do much in this movie, in my opinion.
She didn't. She didn't.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. The Wasp was not really in this.
She was very underused. This became the Ant-Man Stinger, or excuse me, Ant-Man Cassie, because we can't call her Stinger yet.
Call her Stature. It's a better name anyway.
I hate Stature. I hate that name. Stinger's
a better name. No. Get off my show.
Jesus Christ.
Get off my show. I can't believe this. Get off my show. I'm just kidding, Zach. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, but like Stature is I've never liked that name. But
I never liked you.
Good God.
Brutal. I'm just getting brutal here.
Why are you doing this, Paul?
So guess what? The turnabout's going to be fair play, buddy. I'll get
I know.
Listen, Zach, I like the name Stinger too. Okay.
Listen. How about this? I like both names, but Stature's the OG name for me because I just made Dr. Nye read the book, so he understands why I like the name Stature.
Okay. So. If your exposure to Cassie, if your first exposure to Cassie is Young Avengers, I can understand you being one that prefers Stinger or Stature over Stinger. For me, my first exposure being Spider-Girl kind of changed that. I love the design of the costumes in this film. I loved the Wasp's costume, and I loved how they translated Stinger or Stature or Cassie. So I love the way the designs came out, and this one probably looks closest to like the MC2 version of Scott out of all of them. So there's a lot of things I like about it. It's just I felt like the direction and the script was kind of the things kind of dragging it down.
Really quickly, I want to add on this too, Zach, because I keep forgetting that she was part of the MC2. And for those who don't know, the MC2 is like an alternative future where like we have Spider-Girl, we've got a different, basically like the next generation. Like what's that?
Fantastic Five. Come on.
Yeah, like it's like a next. What, J2? Hey, my boy J2, don't even try to front on that.
That's just for J2. They still have the last 6 issues on Marvel Unlimited. I'm still pissed off about that.
Well, so and the MC2 is like basically their kids, whatever, right? So Stinger, I keep forgetting that Stinger was a part of that, and they just kind of incorporated that more recently into the proper 616 universe. So before we move on to more praise, any more negative stuff we want to do? We remember? Did I get everybody? Yes. Okay. Now let's just talk about some positive stuff. I'll just go and kind of lead us a little bit. Besides, because obviously we all love Kang. We'll get to Kang here in a little bit. But I thought the designs of everything was pretty fun. I thought that it was not a movie that I thought like for being called Quantumania, I got my money's worth. Does anyone agree with that? I felt like that was the case for me anyway.
Star Warsian Marvel movie that I've seen. Like it felt like, you know, if Star Wars and Marvel made a baby together, it would look like this.
Right.
So I was very that kind, and I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. I like Star Wars, but I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. But even so, I really liked the overall feel of the quantum realm. I mentioned the designs of our heroes. I liked how Hank was in this movie. You know, he kind of, you know, surprised me. MODOK is the bomb, though. I'm sorry. If you hate MODOK, I understand why you do, but like I felt like they nailed MODOK, man. Like,
yeah, see that right there looks cool.
He's fantastic. Listen, I like MODOK too. All right, so Zach, you just went. You can dive in more in a little bit. Padre, give me some good positive stuff that's not Jonathan Majors.
No, I agree. Like it was fun to be in the quantum realm. It was fun to see that world and watch it, you know, get built and the designs and everything. Now, I don't know if anyone else has a problem. Like I know I went to a theater that I don't normally go to because I didn't want to see it in 3D. And
it's fair.
I feel like I was a little too close to the screen, and I don't know if like the projector was dim or what, but I felt like I needed to see things better. So hopefully when you guys saw it, it wasn't you could see kind of all the details like I wanted to see. Particularly in that first camp that Scott and Cassie go to. I wanted to be able to take in those characters a little bit better. But no, because those are the things that like I really think are fun about it. And like, you know, when they get attacked too, like it was kind of hard to follow some of that. Again, it could have been just my theater in particular. But no, I thought those a lot of fun kind of concepts that they had in there. MODOK was fun. I didn't feel particularly threatened by MODOK, other than the fact that he was kind of nuts.
Yeah, see, I did. I thought the nuts factor was a good indication of he was deadly and he was silly, but like his silliness also was a detriment because it made him deadly because he was so unhinged. I like that aspect of him actually. But I know what you're saying though too, right? Like,
well, I think that if he would have been taken just like a little. If there wasn't so many kind of like jokey things about him throughout, you would have earned some of those like, you know, Avengers, like I'm an Avenger moment at the end, like that, because I did think that was funny.
That was funny, yes.
And I really liked seeing just Michelle Pfeiffer and Douglas in action. You know, it's just cool to see those guys on screen. They both look great for their age. I was just kind of thinking about that in the scene where they're at that bar, restaurant, or whatever, and then the attack happened. Just kind of watching them in action was fun for me.
It was cool. Right on.
And I was gonna say Michelle Pfeiffer, for whatever reason, I don't know how old she is now, but hasn't stopped getting more attractive as time has gone on. Great.
Nope. I just get older and she just stays the same in my book, right?
The 90s, man. Like it's like that. She is the female Paul Rudd. She's not aged. Like I don't know.
She looks good.
I don't know what she's done. I will say this: I was legitimately surprised when the MODOK reveal of who it was. I was like taken aback. I was like, oh, okay, I'm in this. Like I that was a good use of film continuity to me.
So yes, you're right. But how could you miss who that was? Come on.
No, as soon as I saw his big ass head, I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yes. All right. Okay. All right. Well,
I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what I was.
That hadn't been spoiled for me because that would have been cool as a reveal.
Oh, I was fortunate, I guess.
I kind of guessed it was MODOK had to be something like tied to something, you know. I think if you just put out this robot like guy with a giant head, it'd be a hard thing to like sell to an audience. But with Darren's backstory and explaining it, it felt like right. It just felt the most natural way. I think so. Chris, you love this movie a lot, maybe more than everybody, which I think we all generally like it. It sounds like we all didn't dislike it. You might like it the most. Maybe Dr. Nye does. I don't know. Dr. Nye, do you think you like it more than Chris?
Probably not.
Okay, that's all I thought. Okay, Chris, what? Tell me besides Jonathan Majors, do you like about this movie?
Besides Jonathan Majors, I really liked the character, like the minor characters, the look and the feel. I know they said Star Wars before, and there is such a Star Wars element. That jelly dude is like, I will die to protect him. Like, I loved him. He was so funny with the my holes.
I never thought there would be that many holes jokes in an MCU movie, but I'm here for it.
That's fair.
No, and yeah, the telepath was really cool. They had some good laughs with some of his lines when he was talking to Paul Rudd when they first meet. The dude who's got like the lantern head.
Oh God, he's amazing.
I mean,
I meant to get a picture of him. I forgot.
Love that design. Probably actually the only character that I didn't really feel much for was for the woman. Actually, I just felt like,
wow.
I guess because as the leader, I don't know. Like there was an aspect to these characters where I felt like I was missing like a backstory. Like, who are these people? What are they really doing? I get it, right? Like they live in the
They're oppressed, man. That's their backstory. They're oppressed by Kang.
Did she borrow that helmet from James Earl Jones and Conan? Like,
oh, dude. Conan is canon. Oh, yes. Do. Oh, I love it. I love it.
But if you don't do
I'm gonna get deep here on all you all. If you're up to date on the MC or Marvel Comics 616 continuity, in my opinion, they missed an opportunity to turn her green and make her Jarella, Hulk's girlfriend. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I felt like she would have been perfect Jarella, and a great way to kind of introduce different characters. Maybe have her and Hulk hook up at some point. So
does Jarella have to do with the quantum realm? What you been doing there?
But you just condense it, man. Like there's all kinds of things they'd mix and match and whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not sure what that happened there. So, and by the way, I want to kind of emphasize what you kind of talked about, Chris. Here is that like this is I do think the designs are actually pretty solid. It was a pretty fun, like I think for the most part, there's a couple not lazy designs, but it's kind of predictable designs, whatever. And Dave, I'm very curious what your thoughts are. I thought the designs of all this stuff was pretty fun for the most part of what they came up with. Like, because most of it's original stuff they made up themselves. It's not like they were borrowing like the Shi'ar Empire, Negative Zone stuff from Annihilus, like which I thought honestly they were going to do. I thought they're going to go straight Negative Zone, but they didn't. So I think they should get a good score on original design. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know enough about the designs for the comics. So when a lot of those characters, like, they got the lantern head, Solemn, what did they call him? He had a name.
Zalm, something like that, yeah.
But anyway, like, I was curious to kind of look up later, which I haven't done yet, like, where do these guys fit in with the comics? Because I don't know the comics well enough to.
I don't know. I think most of them are new characters. Maybe they aren't. That I just haven't gone that deep, and I'm not going to pretend that I even know them because I don't. But I'll just say this. If I don't know them, they must be real deep cuts. That's all. I'm not trying to be brag. I'm just saying. I don't have a Comic Binge YouTube channel for nothing. Let's be real. But
no,
I'm not like
right
be all end all. Right? Yeah, I'm about to be challenged. Listen, I'm not trying to talk SH. I'm just saying, if they must be deep, I don't know everything. I think the designs were pretty cool. That's one thing I liked about the movie. Pizza Time. What you like about the movie, but not minus Jonathan Majors.
I liked Hank Pym. I liked his ant colony. I was waiting for those ants to show up in a relevant way again because you see them fall in with them. They make it a point to show you that.
I totally missed it.
And talk about how intelligent they are, and
but anyway,
good exposition.
Yeah, I just liked that whole thing. I liked
Foreshadowing, not exposition.
yeah.
Okay, whatever. Same difference.
Yeah, Hank Pym was charming. And the ant rescue at the end I thought was a good, goofy sci-fi Marvel Ant-Man concept to throw in at the end of this goofy sci-fi movie.
It felt like the Army of the Dead at the end of the Return of the King to me. The way they just
Yeah,
it's all over.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I'm gonna say that right now. That was the one thing that I totally forgot about the ants. Maybe I was so enthralled with the movie, I just forgot about them.
Because every 8 minutes, my wife was like, "Where are the ants? Isn't this ant?"
Oh man, your wife likes animals. That's cute. I like that. I listen. I like when they showed up. I'm like, oh hell yeah, okay, I'm into this. Like I thought that was a really neat idea because I mentioned on the review that it is a movie called Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So and they
they had to figure out how to use ants in there. And I wish I had clipped the little ants video that they did for the first Ant-Man movie. Where him and Paul Rudd, yelling ants.
Where the Ant-Man and the Ants-Man come together.
Yeah, exactly. All right, right on. Dr. Nye, what did you like about the movie minus Jonathan Majors?
I hate to do this, but I did remember the one other thing I didn't like.
No,
Can I start with that?
Please. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. You can be
I
Mr.
was
Negative
annoyed at the beginning when Cassie, the attitude she was having with Scott, that like after saving the world, he wasn't saving the world anymore. That to me that conflict felt really forced. I was like, dude, he never has to do anything again. He saved the universe.
Okay, hold on. But hold on. Let me throw it back at you, sir.
Yes.
Think about you teach kids, right? I don't want to reveal too much. I don't know if you're I don't want to reveal too much of your life if you don't want me to. I apologize. But
no, you go right ahead. No, I'm a high school teacher. Yeah.
All right. So here's my thing. You should know better than me, sir, that kids are idealistic. And like that fit for me because she's so naive. She doesn't understand the real world. But I don't think she's wrong. But I think you have a point. But I think because she's so naive and young that it works for me. Then I'm like, yeah, of course she's gonna be like, Dad, you should be doing more, you big jerk. Bleh. I mean, like, of course she's gonna be like that. She's a kid, So that's just how I interpreted it. Does that affect your opinion at all?
I've got a teenage daughter.
There you go.
She's not like that.
Ask her this. Does she have a problem with that part? Is she around? You ask her. Especially like the kids of like heroes it worked for something like that. That's fair. Okay. All right.
Minor thing. Okay. The things I like.
Positive.
The humor works for me. I was laughing a lot. And I did love especially the times when the humor really I felt like was effectively connected to the story. One of my biggest laughs was I think it's when Paul Rudd says, your buildings are alive here. And then that pink goo guy says, your buildings are dead where you come from. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. And it was a good little bit of world building about kind of what it's like down in the quantum realm. I really enjoyed that. The thing is great to look at. That's already been said, but yeah, the designs are good. Overall, I do think, big budget movies like the MCU type movies need to probably be moving away from the volume in general, but this was a good use of it, I thought. Like I've seen complaints about it feeling like it does kind of feel like there's a roof in the quantum realm, but I still thought it was amazing to look at. Even the fact that it did feel kind of weirdly closed in it wasn't a bad thing to me. I still thought it was great to look at. I do think the character, my negatives were the characters that weren't there. The characters that were there, I was enjoying. And I'll even say the fact that Jonathan Majors doesn't show up till later, I thought was a plus in the sense that was the time when I got to enjoy these minor characters that once Jonathan Majors comes into the movies, I don't really get them anymore. I want to know who these, especially like the paint goo guy, the lantern head guy, the telepath guy. Like I wanted more time with them because I really enjoyed them. And once Jonathan Majors is on the screen, everything else just disappears. Rightfully so.
Yes. Yes. All right. Yes, Zach. You may speak now.
Yeah, I wanted to let him finish his point. The two things that I'll say also.
Good job, by the way.
No, well, I when I found out he's a teacher, I feel like I have to raise my hand now.
Well, you should.
So my this is kind of going back to his quibble earlier about there being a roof. Two things. I think one, this was the first time that they, other than Love and Thunder, that they used the new style of set that they've been using starting with Star Wars and stuff like that. So I think that
it's called The Volume. Thank you.
What?
Anyway,
but the other thing too was I do think in terms of like why there was why in the first film there's floating in the dark in the quantum realm. I think that it's like the circles of hell the further down you go, because I think there's these different layers to the quantum realm, and in the first film they kind of only touch upon the edge of it, and then the second film they kind of go deeper, and this one now thematically they're hitting the quote unquote bottom.
That's actually a pretty good point. I like that, actually. It's good.
So, but unfortunately that's not necessarily conveyed in the way it has to become it has to be a headcanon thing. And I think it would have been much easier, and I think that might have made a little more sense to people had they, kind of implicitly said that instead of implying it, sort of.
Or showing it. Like, why didn't they go through the floaty things on the way to the grounded part?
100% agree. And I feel like that comes back to scripting, and it comes back to, the continuity there, because you've got such a massive amount of projects going on. Back in the day with the bullpen, there was a continuity cop that was their job, was to sit there and make sure the continuity fit. And I feel like it can't be Kevin Feige anymore. And somebody has to be the guy that sits, the producer that says, okay, my job is to make sure that the continuity, we make it fit as well as we can as possible, while still allowing the filmmakers to be able to do their thing.
Right. No, that's a good call. Oh, Dr. Nye, go ahead.
I forgot my absolute favorite thing in the movie is that
besides Jonathan Majors.
Cloud.
Wait, who?
Besides Jonathan Majors, that probability cloud with all the Scotts and the Baskin Robbins Scott. I kind of love that.
No. I thought it was so ridiculous that somehow there's a timeline where Baskin Robbins Scott winds up there for some reason.
Negatory, Ghost Rider. No,
positively ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's positively ridiculous. It's positively ridiculous.
All right, okay. I'm not going to give you that, Dr. Nye. I'm sorry.
Hope's biggest thing and grabs it, then all the possibilities disappear, and it's just them.
That was cool, but that's not a good. But the payoff, it doesn't earn. The payoff doesn't like feel good to me. It was cool, but it wasn't like worth it for what that whole thing, in my opinion. Zach, you want to comment on that real quick?
Yeah, well, I disagree with you, because I felt like that was kind of Hope's kind of crowning moment in the film. Like she didn't.
That is the best part. You're right. That is true.
And I understand the real world situation, but that's kind of been refuted by her and the director in this last week, because that did get brought up that, was she going to get fired, blah, blah, blah. And the director's like, there was never a point where she was going to get fired.
I'm not going to buy into that crap.
Again, so I understand what Justin was saying in the comments, but to me, at the same time, Hope really was very much sidelined, and she hasn't really had a moment to shine. She shined more in the previous film than she did in this one.
I agree. Yeah, well, it's her first one called Antman and the Wasp. Padre, did I forget any other likes you had for? Right, I make sure I didn't.
No, we covered it pretty well.
All right, so here we go. The moment I've been waiting for, and what? Yeah, and because you've been a good sport today, Zach, and you've been very, and you did put him at forefront, and and Dave's, he who remains. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mother Lovin' King. Zach, go ahead. Talk about how amazing Jonathan Majors was.
Jonathan Majors had the uneven. He had the very difficult task of being the supervillain that's going to be the overarching supervillain in this multiverse saga, and the fact that you're having to follow up Thanos in terms of being a big bad. It's not surprising to me that they nailed it, because I don't consider He Who Remains is a variant of Kang, but this is really Kang. I mean, you look at Kang. The design that they brought forth to the screen is just a damn near perfect translation of his comic book suit, and this is where, if you showed that to 2000s Bryan Singer X-Men, they would have recoiled in fear.
Why do you have to bring up Bryan Singer X-Men right now? Why do you have to? We're talking about freaking Jonathan Majors Kang, and you're like, well, let me bring in Bryan Singer in his black costumes and all that crap and all that.
The design is the exact opposite.
You're killing me here, homie. You're killing me.
Contrast, sir. That there's a method to the madness.
You had to mention his name. Anyway,
well,
continue.
Anyway, but at the same time, Jonathan Majors was a force of nature that we have not, the likes of which we have not seen since Thanos. Sorry. In all of Phase 4, with all the villains in Phase 4, nobody has held a candle in terms of gravitas and carrying the screen the way Jonathan Majors did as Kang.
Green Goblin did pretty good.
And the OG Mandarin from Shang-Chi,
yes,
is pretty good too, homie.
Agreed.
But hey, I'm sorry, but Kang was better than okay. You got me on.
Listen.
You got me on God.
Listen. I think you're right, but to say it's like night and day, it's like listen, Green Goblin and Mandarin, like they were fantastic. Like they were great.
But Majors is definitely already up there, and I'm fascinated to see how he brings it to the future. Like with
so I'm just gonna cut in real quick. And I just want to say this right now. And Dr. Nye, I keep going back to you because you're the only one who listens to the podcast. So I just want, that's the only reason why I want you as my witness. Okay. I said this on the show, and Sean kind of rebuffed against me a little bit. I'm curious what you're thinking on this, and you guys tell me if I'm full of SH. But I said, I think that Jonathan Majors Kang could be a better overall villain or in performance than Thanos, like overall. And I think this character might, I'm not going to say MCU is like done for. I'm not doing that bull crap. What I am going to say is they may have saved themselves a lot of trouble by casting Jonathan Majors as Kang, because he is so goddamn good. I watched Loki season finale the other day, and he's so good. Padre, do you have the toy? Do you have He Who Remains? I forgot to get a picture of him. So look at that. Goddamn beautiful man. Mwah! Love you. And that's the thing. Like, He Who Remains performance is incredible. It's incredible. And then you go, oh yeah, I'm going to do Kang. Like, come on. And we'll get to the post-credits scene here in a second. I want to say that right now. I think that the MCU has saved themselves a heap of trouble and a pressure of how do you live up to Thanos? You just maybe cast the future biggest star in America. And and listen, y'all, I don't say that lightly. Pizza time, Kang, what you think?
I mean, he was great. He's,
God, you're killing me here.
He looks
awesome.
great. I like the costume a lot. I mean, I agree with you that I mostly agree with you that, yeah, like it's him as the next big bad. They've saved themselves the trouble, sure. I feel like we have to see what he does with the character in the future, but I do think if it's more of what we got in this movie, then yeah, he could be better than Thanos, because he maybe has a bit more of a more interesting motivation than Thanos, depending on whatever that is. I mean, Thanos is pretty like simple, I guess. You know,
well, But here's the thing, though. We don't know his motivation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
who knows? Like, because you can do a lot with the time variables. Like,
Okay.
like I see people saying Faustian bargains. Like, you know, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of potential for what he can bring to the table in the future. I think it's a good villain for, you know, the next few movies.
All right. Mr. Carey, what's your take on our Mr. Kang here?
I mean, obviously, I loved him. You know, just he looks like he just walked out of a comic book, and just every time he speaks, every time he's on screen, you're riveted. You can't stop looking at him. I think back to probably two of my favorite scenes with him. The first being when Janet touches the device and she realizes what his backstory is, how he just kind of looks at her, how he talks to her. He doesn't he doesn't lie to her about who he is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Don't you want to go home? You know, I'll save your universe.
He wants to. He wants to help her. It's not like he's like, man, he's like, I have to kill you now. It's like, I want to help you, girl. Like, that's what he wants to do. It's compelling.
It's so compelling. And then that end fight with him and Ant-Man, I mean, there's an aspect to it that it feels a little ridiculous, but I mean, he punishes him. I mean, just
dude, they call him Kang the Conqueror. Come on. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Now my worry with him is the whole council.
There's no worry. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. Padre.
No, he was marvelous.
No pun intended.
I think that, like, yeah, what we're saying about him being the villain moving forward is absolutely right. I mean, to borrow a sports cliche, I think it's just the writer's game to lose at this point with him, because Majors is going to let us down.
No word.
It's kind of what they decide to do. I won't say the council, but just with the character in general. But I mean, he looks perfect, and I think one advantage he'll definitely have over Thanos as a villain is that it's a person, not CGI. I mean, they did an incredible job with Thanos, and that didn't ever bother me for a second.
No, yeah, same.
But to have an actor in there with the gravitas that Kang and living up to that, it's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, that's well said, sir. Well said. As I knew you would elegantly put it, as you always do.
I still think that there is one casting that they have to nail in terms of villains, and I think that's Doom. But Kang has given, and granted, there has not been a bad. I just don't think that they've done bad in casting, except for the Netflix series. For the most part, the MCU has nailed their castings, and Majors, I think, absolutely was nailed on this. And I think that once we know who Doom is, I am fascinated to see potentially those two characters butting heads on screen in the future. That's just
they won't butt heads. I think
Mm-hmm.
they won't. They will not. They won't. I promise you right now. I will put money on it. Doom and Kane will not meet up. They will not happen. Mark my words.
Secret Wars
They will not meet up.
I think that they will, because I think that's what Secret Wars is all about.
Yep.
No way in hell. No way in hell.
Between Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, there will be a portion, because Doom's arrogance will not allow Kang to be better than him.
Nope.
Already have time travel elements with both characters.
Nope. Hey, dude, I promise you, I will put money on the table.
Why are you so sure about that, Paul?
$20, Paul.
Listen, I'm telling you right now.
Paul. Why are you so sure about that?
Here's the deal. Doom is such an important character that, and he's already been mishandled before. You're not going to rush him into a Fantastic Four movie to rush him in with Kang right away. It's not going to happen.
They don't have to.
But that's my point, though, is like Doom serves no purpose to this whole grander scheme. He just doesn't. And I think, and I've already said before on the MCU fan shows, in my opinion, I think he plays a way more pivotal part on the grander scheme of the world, of the smaller scale. Because right now we've gone from the universe to the multiverse. I think we're going to get to, in my opinion, more of an espionage slash, political thriller in the next phase after this. And I think you've already had it set up in Wakanda Forever with Atlantis, Taco Khan, or whatever you want to call it. Same difference. Wakanda, and then I think Latveria. I think all those things are going to play a pivotal role in the next. And I think New World Order will set that up. To be honest,
what I do think will happen is that we'll get Doom in a similar way we're getting King. It's going to be a slow burn, and it may go across phases. But my point but my point is I think that there will be a point where Doom and Kang will face off. Only if it's in Secret Wars, because I honestly think that they're going to try to adapt as much as they can of the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars. We already are seeing elements of that.
Oh no, I think they're gonna.
All right, listen. We're gonna move. We got more Kang. We got comic recommendations. We gotta get out of here. All right, I'm gonna say this right now. If a Kang or a main, let me rephrase. No, I'll say it right now. If any Kang has there's an actual scene with MCU Doctor Doom, be very clear, MCU Doctor Doom, I will do an entire show without my shirt on the binge.
And $20.
No, I don't have $20 to give. Anyway, all right. Anyway, Dr. Nye.
Yes.
What you think of Dr. Kang? Dr. Kang. How are you, Dr. Kang?
I think I'm with you on thinking that this could be, in terms of, as you said, performance, better than Thanos. I think Thanos was incredible.
Same.
Though Josh Brolin is kind of being Josh Brolin. Like in terms of performance, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, how different is he from Cable? It's written differently. And obviously you have the CGI character. But with what I'm loving with Jonathan Majors so far, it reminds me of Multiplicity, which is one of my favorite movies, where you have Michael Keaton playing different versions of kind of the same guy, but he has to bring these different character aspects to these different versions of the same guy. And that's
I was not expecting a Multiplicity reference today, Padre.
How are you not?
That's fair.
It just welcomes itself into the conversation.
That's fair. It's fair.
But so far, we've just got the two of the He Who Remains and this.
Whoa, we got more than two, but we'll say that
in terms of fully fleshed out. You got like a little, you had the little
all right.
tag at the end, but we've got to spend some real time with two of them.
Okay.
And to me, it's mesmerizing seeing him fill in. I mean, just the body language, the way he talks, all of that, in these different kinds of menace between these two guys. I'm loving it. I'm definitely looking forward to more. I wish we could get He Who Remains back in the room.
No. We don't need him. We don't need him.
Well, I just want to see again the multiplicity sort of angle where you have all these different Kangs that differently hanging out together.
But you get that in the post-credit scene.
But those are different guys. I just really like the two we've had.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Maybe you'll really like the Pharaoh one.
Yeah. I'm sure I will.
Yeah,
Ramatut, baby. Ramatut.
Ramatut.
All right. Have we got everyone's opinions on Kang before we get to the end credit scene really quick, and then we're gonna do comic recommendations. Get the hell out of here. Anyone? Did I get everybody? Excuse me. Did I get everybody? Okay. All right. Last thing. Post credit scenes. God damn it, Mortis! Woo! So happy. I'm so happy Immortus is here. I'm so happy. I've been and this is why I say Dr. Doom ain't coming, boys. Because here's the thing. Secret Wars, I agree, I understand what's the one thing the MCU does a great job of? Adapting and retooling storylines to fit what they need to have happen. I think that there's a lot of elements of if you read up the fantastic Hickman New Avengers stuff, which again, if you want to read some good comic books that are kind of pertaining to what we're talking about, go read New Avengers by Jonathan Hickman, go issue 1, go right into Secret Wars 3, and you're going to have a blast. It's a great series. And I can tell you right now that I don't see it being the same because Doom just doesn't have enough time to get him wrapped up into everything. It's going to be really hard. So with all that said, I think there's elements of Secret Wars 1 and 3 put together. And what they've already kind of done with the Contest of Champions, with the Grandmaster and things like that. There's going to be, and I've said this before on the MCO fan show, Dr. Nice, you can vouch for me on this one. I've said that I think that Secret Wars is going to be basically a Kang contingent versus like an Immortus contingent. And it's going to be those guys bringing in different characters, like from different multiverses, and fighting each other for the greater multiverse. And Kang Dynasty is just going to be the Avengers taking on Kang, and then like them kind of thinking they defeated him, but really the Secret Wars is going to be where Immortus and all of them are going to be played out to like it's us versus you kind of a thing. And it's going to be, can we fight to keep the multiverses alive and save this universe? That's what I think is going to end up happening. That's why you have all these different Kangs that are going to be showing up. So that's my prediction. But I will say my one criticism of the post-credit scene is I think the Silver Centurion, aka Red Centurion, looks too much like High Evolutionary. Unless that's purposeful. I don't know. But either way, Ramatut, all I gotta say is what comes out before Kang Dynasty. Enough said. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it there. All right, so I'm gonna go with Mr. Carey. Quick, all right, post credits, and by the way, really quick, we'll put the Loki one in there too. I was moderately excited about Loki after the post credit scene. Can't wait for Loki. Mr. Carey, go ahead.
All right. So I'm not like, I don't know. Kang the Conqueror is my favorite version of Kang, right? So the fact that maybe he's dead hurts my heart. I hope
he's not dead. He's not dead.
He's not dead because there's a million of them.
Oh, stop it.
That's what worries me, though, right? I don't want Kang to be this villain who's like very disposable, right? There's a million of them. You have one show up in a movie, you kill him off. It kills the threat aspect of it. And also, he's got to play each character different. He's done a good job with the two so far, but I don't know. Like, I look at Ramatut, I look at Immortus. Looks stupider to me. And I get their comic characters, and some people like them, but I mean, none of those characters in that council at the end looked anywhere near as cool as Kang the Conqueror.
I give up. Show's over. Show's over. All right, guys. Good night. See you guys later. I love you. See you later. Bye bye.
Oh, stop. Let us go. All the rest of us go.
All right. Chris, one last thing. I'll let everyone go. Anything else?
I'm just stoked for Loki. And I feel bad for everybody who saw that and hasn't seen Loki and just watched that and was like, "What the?"
I can't believe he says he looks silly. I don't want to say to you right now.
I mean, I'm sure it'll, once you actually see him in action, it'll look great. But in that scene, I thought it looked very stupid.
All right, whatever. All right, Zach, go ahead.
So in my build up to watching this, I went through and watched the Kang episodes of Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Great episodes. Great cartoon.
Yeah, and in terms of adaptations, you can't go wrong with any of those. So, the post credit scenes, I was like, all right, we are leaning completely into this. I think that was probably the most necessary scene we've had in a while in terms of a post credit scene. The Loki's tease, Loki left me cold. I really didn't.
All right.
Enjoy it. I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it. So
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Sorry, we got to wrap this up. Sorry, Zach. I love you. I know I'm trying to, but yeah. Pizza time. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
Oh
God.
Okay. So I appreciated that they showed these three other main versions of Kang. However,
I don't like where this is going.
Like Chris, I think I'm hold on. I think right now I'm more invested in the actual Kang, and I do hope that that the Kang that is quote unquote dead isn't. But if he is, I guess there's another one they can bring out. But I kind of I'm not sure about that whole thing where like all these Kangs are like going wild in the thing at the end. And I feel like I like that they showed these 3 other variants. I will say that the Immortus voice I was thinking was a little odd, but I appreciate that it's showing that Jonathan Majors can play basically 5 different versions of Kang. So it's a wait and see thing, but right now, I think I'm with Chris. My favorite is the Kang that we've gotten. I hope we see more of that kind of Kang going forward. I'm assuming we will.
I love them all equally.
I am interested in seeing what they do with his 3 main variants. I wasn't expecting to see Ramatut at the end of this.
I wasn't either. And that's why I said, what comes out before King Dynasty?
I know what comes out.
Yeah. All right, anyway.
That's my Kang spiel, whatever.
I'm upset right now. Dr. Nye,
get used to it.
I know. Dr. Nye, what's your take on the post-credit scenes?
As you know, I am a comic book infant. It's not something I have a deep awareness of.
But you're growing. You're growing.
Sure. But for me, it was an experience of like, I don't really know what's going on here, but I know a lot of people who probably do, and they're probably loving this. And it made me happy that a studio that makes this much money on their movies makes a little love letter to the hardcore comic book fans, of which I am not one, but I'm happy for you all.
Thank you.
and so that it made me smile that they did this, because I'm like, I don't really know what this is, but it looks neat. But then the Loki one, I was like, yeah, I'm very excited for Loki season 2. When I saw Mobius and Loki in that scene, I was like, yay! Like, I got very excited.
First time we've seen a Disney Plus show being referenced in a stinger.
Is that right?
Point. Yeah, first time.
Wow.
And great point, Zach. And also, too, like I stayed away from spoilers. I didn't know Majors was going to be in Loki season 2. That confirmed it. So I
didn't either.
Yeah, me neither.
Effing rad.
I knew when they did the roadmap that they had said that Loki season 2. I think that's going to be fall of this year, and I think we'll get Secret Invasion early in the spring.
I am just not excited for Secret Invasion. That's a whole different story. Padre, post-credit scene, sir.
Dr. Nye said it all for me. I mean, like, I don't know beyond Kang the Conqueror. I don't know the other guys. So, like, I think it's awesome that they're just going to get weird with it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like, I mean, just go nuts.
Okay.
Have fun with it. Give everyone like just, tons of stuff to talk about. Like,
that's true.
Boys, if you have those original issues from the 60s, they're about to skyrocket in price. So you better get them now.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, all right. So
I was a fan of Loki. I mean, I really like the show.
Yeah.
So it was exciting to me to see that. That was very exciting.
That was my next question. So yeah, that was a surprise for me. Like what Zach said, like I was not expecting a stinger for Loki. But I mean, at the same time, makes sense because he's like he's a huge star for the MCU, right? So I mean, come on, it's Hiddleston. So, all right, guys. Well, that was a fantastic show. I'm gonna say a couple recommendations here, and then we'll head out. Again, Dave, I'm glad you managed to stay the whole time. This is great.
I don't need sleep.
Fun. Yeah, who needs sleep? Sleep is overrated. All right, for those who are, I've said this ad nauseum. I've said it a ton of times before. I made everyone read it last time. I'm never gonna shut up about it because it's too good. Go read Kang the Conqueror. Only Myself Left to Conquer. Fantastic comic. Go buy the graphic novel. Go download it. Whatever. This is the Kang comic book you want to read after watching the movie. And also, Dr. Nye, I'm going to ask you right now. Are you glad you read this with watching Quantumania now?
Yes, and I'm sure I will go back and read it again as time goes along, and more of it is filled in for me.
Yes,
available on Marvel Unlimited. If you have not already got a subscription, it is the best value in comics.
Yes, it is. And then so the next thing is, it's a little more obscure. I believe this is 267.
Yes.
Avengers 267, 268, and then also you'll see why I love this next one. 269. This is Secret Wars. This is what Secret Wars is going to be, baby. That's in my opinion. That's what's happening. We're gonna have Kang versus Kangs, and if you guys want to know about King of Councils, it all starts here. And that's the one thing I would say is really fun. Like these are only 3 issues, right? 267, 268, 269. And what's really cool is that it's a fun short story. Like it's short, it's cheesy, but it's a lot of fun. And I really recommend people to read it and have fun with it. And like you said, Zach, yeah, you're gonna want these issues. First appearance of Kang, the Council of Kangs, baby. That's right, you key issue hunters. Come after me. Come on. I'm just kidding. I hate that stuff. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
If you want to get a good primer on Kang, on Marvel Unlimited, they have a whole section called The Ages of Kang, and it has a lot of the chronological appearances. So if you want to get really, really deep in the weeds on the comics on Marvel Unlimited right now.
And also, if you guys want to get it has those 3 comics I just mentioned, 267, 268, and 269. Go check out this Avengers, the Under Siege epic graphic novel. This is by Roger Stern, Tom Palmer, John Buscema. It is fantastic. It has maybe my favorite Avengers story in here ever, where Baron Zemo attacks the Avengers out of nowhere with his new Masters of Evil. And it's just, this is gold, baby. This is Avengers gold. Go read this. Yeah, it's a little cheeseball. It's dated a little bit. But honestly, the lineup is, listen to this lineup, guys. You've got Captain Marvel, the Monica Rambeau. You got Hercules, Black Knight, Namor, Captain America. Does this remind anyone of anyone?
It reminds me of everything they've been setting up in the post
yeah,
of the MCU in the past few
look
movies.
Who's in the middle. Who comes in at some point? Oh yeah, weird.
Oh yeah,
it's all weird how this all works out. Yeah. So I'm just
isn't that Eric? Not.
No. That's 90s. This is 80s.
Okay.
And don't you dare. Oh, you like Eric Maxson. I forgot. Never mind. What am I thinking? Wrong friends. Tom DeFalco. We get it. No, this is no. I said that because I love it too. Like this is no BS. I'm just saying. Me and Zach we're in like minds here. We're even though we're far apart on Chasm, we're closer together in heart, right, Zach? Yeah. I love you, Zach.
You had to bring up Chasm. I was just starting to get healed, and you had to bring
ruined.
But see, and Dr. Nye, Padre, and Chris Carey, and all you guys, go pick up. If you guys haven't, if this is not too expensive,
that's out of print, man.
Is it? This dude, reprint this mother, or go online and read the issues. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I will bet
they're reprinting a lot now, so that'll probably be soon.
Yeah, it'll be soon.
Next year, I think we're going to see a glut of trade paperbacks, just because I think the Penguin Press stuff is finally going to get sorted out, and we'll get some clarity on some things, because there's certain runs that haven't been finished yet. Spider-Girl, and so therefore, I'm hoping
they're gonna finish her in those, what are they, the modern epics, guaranteed.
I've heard both. I've heard that they will, and I've heard one. So. All
right. One last thing. I've been recommending this pretty much since Loki season 1, and this is to me one of my favorite comics. I don't know if it's a masterpiece yet. I'm debating on putting this as a comic book masterpiece or not. I don't know yet. I love this thing to death though, but this holds a special place in my heart. This series, go read this comic book series. Dr. Nye, I made you read. You haven't read the whole thing yet, but you are digging this, correct?
Yes. Okay, that cool. One I'm really enjoying.
This is if the MCU wants to get crazy, they'll do Iron Lad. Enough said. I'm just going to say that right now.
There's going to be a Young Avengers, either a show or a movie before the end of this phase. I just see it happening.
I don't know if it's going to happen before the multiverse saga is done. I just don't know. I just don't. I want to be wrong. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get Iron Lad, which is a bummer.
We will see. We're going to learn a lot, I think, at San Diego this year.
That's fair.
They do the Hall H. I think we will learn a ton, and I think that we will only that, we will see the cast of Fantastic Four. That is my prediction.
Well, yeah, I think we're going to get them before then, to be honest. But
with Ironheart.
Was that?
What if they replaced Iron Lad with Ironheart?
Well, it's not the same. Not I like Ironheart. I actually like her more in the movie than the comic character, to be honest. But you couldn't, if you go read, do me a favor, just go read Young Avengers. You'll understand what I'm saying. It's not
They set up so much of it in the MCU.
It's a big spoiler. But it, like you said, like Dr. Nye, it's like they've set up all these characters basically in the MCU. Like they're there. So I couldn't recommend this comic enough. Go read this comic book. It's already, they're setting it up right now in the MCU, but it's a goddamn great comic book. Jim Chung's art is chef's kiss. It's so effing good. And Alan Heinberg, he's a great writer, man. Like his Young Avengers comics are great. So, all right, everyone, we're gonna wrap this up. This is a blast. I had a blast, guys. I knew I was gonna have fun, but I had even more fun than I was anticipating. This was a great time. Everyone, I super appreciate everyone coming on. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out to everyone. I'll throw you all out. Dr. Nye, where can people find you? Support your stuff.
Yeah, I'm at Adam Nye on Twitter. You can check out my band, Too Bad Eugene. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and Spotify and iTunes. Too Bad Eugene. Check it out.
Do you have your vinyl like with you? You can show the audience.
No, it's on the way. It has not showed up yet.
When it comes on, let me know. When it's officially there, we'll get you on the show and we'll make sure you do some good promotion on that. All right, man?
Would love that. Thank you.
All right. Of course. Thank you for coming on, by the way. Dr. Knight, seriously, appreciate you,
Absolutely.
bro. All right. Padre.
Yo. You got my tag right here, Father's Figures. Mm-hmm. I haven't been taking a lot of photos lately because I've been finishing up a big project that I've been working on for way longer than time.
Way long time. It looks gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet, but
you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Father's Figures, and photos of toys. That's about it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, his stuff. No one, I out there. I challenge anyone to do better than my best buddy here, and I don't mean that because he's my best buddy. I mean because it's the effing truth. So, all right, Mr. Chris Carey, where can we find you at, sir?
At Valzero on Twitter.
That was good coordination.
Yeah,
that was good. Yeah, I missed you, by the way. We gotta make it Marvel and Star Wars soon.
Dude, we gotta do.
We gotta do. We have
to talk about. Send us the issues that we gotta read, man.
We gotta plan. We gotta schedule a date. Anyway, I digress. We'll get you on soon for Marvel and Star Wars with Scott. Mr. Scott, if you're listening, you're probably not listening, but I still love you. Pizza time. What we got? Oh, come on now. Hold on. There we go. What the heck? Something's not working here. There we go. Adam, pizza time. Go.
Enchilada Legs on Twitter. Spidey Dude Experience on the Spidey Dude Radio Network. Yes. I'm on the Comic Binge every month or so. Yeah.
You're on a lot. By the way, Adam helps me out, edit videos for me, and I really truly grateful for you, sir. Seriously, thank you.
Thank you, man.
It helps a lot. Like, mad love for you. Mad love for you. You know that. You know that already. All right, and Zach. Speaking of mad love. Got mad love for you, bro.
So I'm holding the comic book in my hand, Amazing Spider-Girl. We are wrapping up the Amazing Spider-Girl era on Make Mine Mayday, the show over on the Spidey Dude Radio Network. You can find that on YouTube. You can find us on spidey-dude.com where we have all of our shows on the Spidey Dude Radio Network, co-hosted with Paul and Pizza Time, myself, and we are going to do the post-Chasm era in terms of the on the Spidey Dude experience. Got a lot coming, and Books of X. We've recorded the first episode, so that's coming very soon for our Patreon.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Zach, thank you, everyone. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on. Like, seriously, means a lot to me. Go, please subscribe if you've watched already, like the hour and 20 minutes. Like 2 people probably. But either way, I really appreciate everyone who's subbed recently. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. We got a big month ahead of us next month. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. So yeah, Chris isn't here, but I'll bring it out for him because you got to do it. You guys got to end it the same way every time. You got to read more.